Good morning and welcome to Coffee Chat with David and Kylie Knight.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Today is Wednesday, April the 1st, 2020. Wow. Welcome to a new year, everybody. Happy New Year. Well, it just kind of feels like that,
That's
right?
true. March felt like a year.
Oh, yeah.
That is so true.
Whew.
It is April 1st. It's April Fool's Day. And lucky us, we woke up to a broken coffee machine.
That is not a joke.
That is not a joke. Yeah.
It's just the sad reality of our morning. Thankfully, we had a backup plan.
Yep.
At least temporary backup. It's not the best, but
She's not pleased about that.
we have a French press. We had a mini grinder because we've got just whole beans for our machine. So David had to use this mini grinder to grind up a little of our beans, put it through the French press, and we made it work.
Yeah, we did. It's all right,
It's
right?
coffee.
Yeah, it's coffee. There you go.
There's caffeine, and it works.
Put enough sugar and cream in it, you'll never notice.
Yeah, sadly, I'm still one of those creamer coffee sugar people.
Well, that's just because you're so sweet. See?
Apparently, I'm not sweet enough.
No?
Yeah, that's why I need to add it in.
No,
You
it's
don't need
because you're
any.
so sweet, you have to balance out the bitter of me
No.
with the sweetness of...
No, I know. Nice try, though.
Nice. I thought it was worth a
That's
shot.
cute.
I thought it was worth a shot. Well, man, yesterday I got sick.
Yeah.
That wasn't fun. Yeah. You've been battling the allergy thing, but you've got your voice back today.
I do. I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's nice. I like that.
Hear this? It's like full volume. I'm sure David's so happy right now.
I am.
I can yell from one side of the house to the
Oh,
other.
that's so wonderful. I can hear,
David!
honey, I need this. Honey, I need that. Yeah.
Come on, allergies, come back.
No, I love it. I love it.
Aw.
Yeah, but so, I don't know, we did a ton of work yesterday and then went to bed kind of early.
Yeah,
So
you needed it. You were up
I
late the night
did.
before, got up early yesterday morning. So
Yeah.
I think your body just said it's time
It
for
said
a
it's
rest.
time. That's right. Well, hey, be sure to like and share this video. Tell people about it. Today's guest is fantastic. I'm truly excited about him.
So stoked.
Yeah, he's just a super neat guy. We've had the chance to work with him on several occasions.
Right.
And just getting to know him has been amazing.
Yeah.
Do you want to bring him on? Are we ready to do that? Should I introduce him?
Do you want to do the intro?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I introduce him
yeah,
and
go
then
for
I'll
it.
bring him on. All right.
Yes.
So, our buddy Shane Pruitt is a traveling communicator, evangelist, author, and Bible teacher.
The list goes on and on and
It
on.
kind of does. Yeah, I had
Yeah.
to cut it down.
Right.
He also serves as the National Next Gen Evangelism Director for the North American Mission Board, NAMB,
Yeah,
which is a phenomenal organization,
dude.
and he's just perfect for that.
He is.
Every year, he speaks to tens of thousands about the good news of Jesus Christ, which is one of the reasons we just absolutely love him.
It is.
Um,
His heart.
Yeah, he's a
So good.
very popular blogger, and his articles have been picked up by Relevant, Christianity Today, The Christian Post, The Gospel Coalition, goes on and on and on and on. Again, he's got like this bio that I have to like cut down just to
Well,
fit
I
in.
think our time's up now.
It's time to, thanks for coming. We read his bio. It's time to go. Shane and his wife, Casey, were featured as ABC's Nightly News Persons of the Week in August of 2017.
I did not know that until I read that.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so cool.
And I can understand why.
Yeah, they should be every week.
They really should. They reside in Rockwall, Texas, with their 5 children, Reagan, Harper, Titus, Elliot, and Glory.
Woo!
So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our friend and now yours, Shane Pruitt. Good morning, sir.
Yay.
Oh,
Oh, David, you gotta
I
mute.
got it. You're muted. Hang on. That was my bad. I know how to mute. Oh, goodness. Can you unmute yourself? That was my bad.
Go.
There you
There
go.
it
There
is.
we go. There we go.
Man,
Oh.
every day I'm learning something new.
Hey.
Hey, my wife wished she had one of those mute buttons for me. Where it's just like
The automatic mute.
Wouldn't that be nice
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes?
Yeah.
No.
Hey, David Colley, it's such an honor to be on. It's always.
Ah.
I mean, y'all mentioned we've gotten to do some events together,
Yeah.
and I'm always so excited when I know I'm going somewhere and see y'all on there as well. We work well together.
Same,
Everything's
yeah.
centered on the gospel. So, man, so cool to hang out with y'all this morning.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah,
It
you
is-
joined the great outdoors there, I see.
Yeah, I am. I was about to say, y'all's background looks a lot cooler than mine. Mine's a brick wall and a rusty grill. Yeah, I'm outside. We have, like you just said, we have 5 kids.
Yeah.
So if I was inside, there would be a lot of background noise, like PK Masks right now, and a little bit probably fighting over one of the Nintendo Switches. And
Never.
so I'm outside. I'm like, hey, sorry, babe, got to go outside.
Aww.
Yeah.
Try not
the
to keep you too long.
About 2 hours.
He wants us to go longer.
Oh, you want us to go longer? Okay.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, yeah. Well, we we do love when we get to work with you. It's I said at the front, we love you. We love getting to work with you, and it's always a pleasure. But I was so thankful. Like when we decided we wanted to do this guest week, we had like this top list of people, and you were like at the top of that top list of people, and we were stoked when you said yes. So
yeah. We've still got more people to get through, but yeah. Yes.
All right,
cool.
Well, we're gonna jump into it now. Hopefully, there's a couple of people who have joined us. I see them in the background. If you guys have questions for Shane, be sure to drop them in the comments. We will get them to him. But we're gonna start off with a few of our own. Now, I mentioned some of your accolades and some of the things you do, but what do you consider? How do I put this? What is it that you do, and how long have you done it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, I always say, like, first of all, my most important ministry truly is my family. I have a wonderful wife, Casey, like you mentioned. We've been married 15 years.
Wow.
She's on staff at our home church, which is Lake Point Church.
Yeah. Awesome. Yes, it is.
We're at the Hub campus. Lake Point has 6 campuses spread across the FW, but we're at the Rockwall campus. But in her role, she works with all 6 campuses. And then, like mentioned already, we have 5 kids that are 13 and under. That is a prayer request. All right. Our oldest 2 daughters are biological, Reagan and Harper. And then we have 3 adopted kiddos. And our 7-year-old son's adopted from Uganda. So that truly is, I'm not always the best at it, but every day I truly try to make that my primary ministry and everything else from the overflow of that. But the ministry that pays the bills, for the lack of a better term, is the National Next Gen Evangelism Director for the North American Mission Board. That's a mouthful. That doesn't all fit on a business card. And the North American Mission Board, or NAMB, is basically the national Southern Baptist entity to plant churches here in the U.S., help state conventions, local associations, pastors, churches reach people with the gospel, missionaries in different cities all across the U.S. And so we work with all 47,000 Southern Baptist churches and state conventions and pastors and local associations. And my role specifically is to preach and teach and reach the next generation, which is young adults, college students, high school students, really kind of Generation Z, young millennials, and then help churches and state conventions, local associations do the same thing. So that's kind of the 10,000-foot view of what I get to do. So it's truly my dream job. It really is.
I feel like that's what you were created to do. Yeah. Seeing you go into that role just recently, and you've just come alive with it all, and it's such a joy to watch you.
Oh, thank you so much. And and so I know that was part of the question, how long I've been doing that. Since November 1st with this role, but I was doing something very similar with the state convention in Texas for over 4 years. And before that was a lead pastor of a church called Connection Community Church. Most people call it C3. And so it was pastoring that church, and That's
awesome.
Cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I mean, as Kylie said, you seem really suited, when we've seen you. Usually it's been at events for students, camps and things like that. And my goodness, just the way you connect with them. And they sit on the edge of their seat as you're delivering your presentations. And it's just, it's so beautiful to watch.
It is.
What an honor. Thank you.
Yeah. So, we're in the midst of this coronavirus, COVID-19 pandemic outbreak thing. And
what?
I'm sorry, have I not told you about this? Oh my goodness!
Breaking news.
I haven't heard about it. What is this you speak of? No.
How is NAMB responding to that? And I'm sure there's a lot of elements of that, but what is what's something that you want people to know about how they're helping to deal with this?
Yeah, such a great question. So obviously, all of our NAMB sponsored physical gathering events, and NAMB, does a lot of that, has been, canceled or postponed through May. And so really our top concern, I love it, our president, Kevin Ezell, says it weekly on our team meetings of, hey, pastors and churches don't exist for us, we exist for them. And so we are all like, the pastors in the local churches are truly on the front lines of this, and we want to be, for lack of a better term, like Aaron and Hur. Remember Aaron and Hur in the Bible? They're uplifting the arms of Moses, because when Moses' arms are lifted, the Israelites are advancing. When he'd get tired and drop his arms, they would start losing. And so in our context, the local church pastor, the local church student pastor, they're Moses for us. So we just want to be Aaron and Hur to uplift their arms during this time. And so there's thousands of ways that we're doing that. So many, just specifically in my role, last week we released a brand new podcast, and we hustled to get 10 episodes. It's called Next Gen on Mission. Find it. There's 10 episodes on there, and it's all about reaching the next generation, discipling and mobilizing the next generation. So we interview some great guests on there. Each episode's about 20 minutes. And it's for next gen leaders, it's for parents, but it's also for the next generation themselves. So every episode has things for high school students, college students. And then another very exciting thing that we're doing is it's a very chaotic time. So we want to provide just some calmness in the chaos. So on Thursdays at noon or Central Time or 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we're doing a phone call just called Calm in the Chaos. And David Colley, I can send you all the information. And basically, I host it and just invite a national leader to give a devotional over a phone call, and then do structured times of praying. And it just gathers people all across the nation. So last week we had Johnny Hunt lead that. Tomorrow we'll have Ronnie Floyd lead that. And it's just a time where you just call in. Nothing's expected of you, and you can just hear a great challenge from the Word of God, Devo encouragement, and just be able to pray together with hundreds across the nation, praying for revival, physical healing, spiritual awakening, praying for our leaders, praying for our medical professionals, praying for churches and pastors. So we'd love for y'all to be a part of that. It's those that are listening. And those are kind of two things that we recently launched that I've been a part of.
Awesome. Yeah, be sure to send us that information. We'll put it in links for people so they can grab that. Cool. So, we talk a lot about... there's a lot of shifting, and there's certainly a lot of bad news about this epidemic. But what do you see might be some of the benefits that we're going to see as we come out on the other side of this whole chaos?
Yeah, no doubt. So my wife and I were on a walk last night down to our park and through some trails, and we were talking about the very same thing, is that we said, obviously this is a difficult time. I think just last week alone, over 3 million people lost their jobs or were laid off. So it's a very difficult time. But I think there's some good things that's taken place too, that I pray that even when things go back to normal, whatever that normal is I pray these things don't change. I pray that they stay the same. And for example, like, I am so proud of the church, talking Big C Church, the Universal Church. The way the church has responded, been flexible, innovative during this time, truly been about serving the community, has been so amazing. Like, I'm so proud of the church and being part of the church right now. Because just being honest, we all know this. It's not a shock for us to say this, is that there's some things the church tends to be behind the curve on or a little bit late to the party on. But I feel like the church has been in front of this and have been very quick to respond. I'm so proud of the church. I'm so proud of how churches are working together right now. How think about, and I know y'all are as well. Daily, I'm on Zoom calls where basically it's just leaders coming together. And I pray we don't lose that. You know what I mean? Like, I've loved just the collaboration that's taken place. I love just the focus back on the word and prayer, and then family devos, husband and wives. That I'm just hearing tons of stories of husbands and wives reading the word together, praying together, and they haven't done that in a long time, or they've done it for the first time. For parents who have kiddos and doing family devos and all those things, I kind of say it jokingly, but also serious. Like, we always say we need Bible in the schools, we need prayer in the schools. Well, listen, if Bible and prayer is not in the school right now, it's only your fault.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we're all homeschool parents right now.
Exactly.
So if you're not having chapel, in your school right now, it's your fault, right? So
it's true.
I think just so many things like that, and then also, it sounds negative, but it can be positive. Is this time has removed all the excuses of nominal or cultural Christians to engage with their church or to be in the Word and prayer, sharing their faith. Because, some people are like, well, we'd go to church, but we have select, Little League, and we have softball, and we have this and this. Well, now you don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it's kind of removed the excuses. And so I think we got to have a gut check to say, hey, if I'm not engaging with my student ministry as a teenager, or if I'm not engaging with my church as an adult, then like, why?
Yeah.
And I think we really have to do some soul searching there. Yeah.
I love that.
And with it all online now, I think it's reaching even more people than we were before. It's
yes, Scotty, that's so true. In fact, last Sunday, Casey and I went up to our home church to do some volunteering. It's a drop-off site for food right now for kids that are, deprived and maybe having 3 meals a day. So we're providing that because they're dependent. A lot of those kids depend on school to feed them, and they're out of school right now. So anyway, all that to say is, I was talking to one of our pastors, and he had gotten a report that there is a family who have literally been praying for their mom for decades. She's not a believer. She's outspoken that she's not a believer, been praying for her for decades. But for the last 3 weeks in a row, she's watched the online service and listened to the online message because she's living with them now. During this time she's praying with them. So they have it on, and they said they're not forcing her or pushing her. But every week she'll come in the living room and sit down and watch on TV with them.
Oh.
Yeah. And so, I mean, there are some great stories. My prayer, David and Kylie, is that one day thousands, if not millions of people, their testimony will be, I came to know Jesus during the coronavirus.
It's going to point back to this time. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ah, so awesome. I love
exciting.
That is exciting. All right. So you have written a book.
Oh, man. Yes.
You've written 9 common lies Christians believe. And I love that there's, so do you consider the subtitle to be part of the title? I was just thinking about this.
So, it's long.
It is long. But
there's a jackalope on the book.
I love the jackalope. But I do love how the second part of the title is, and why God's truth is infinitely better.
Yes.
I just think that's beautiful.
I would love to take David. I would love to take credit for all of that, the jackalope. But when you're working with a major publisher, Waterbrook and Multnomah, Penguin Random House are the publishers. So, you of course, it's all a group team effort. So I would love to say I came up with all that, but
I remember you talking about that at camp. Actually,
Yeah, in fact, they're the ones that had the jackalope idea. I was like, what? But it's kind of funny. I mean, people remember it. Even if they can't remember that long title, they're like, the Orange Jackalope book.
And they go, oh,
So smart. So smart.
Yeah.
Well, you were so kind. You gave us both a copy of this. It's signed. I love that. I have a shelf in my office where I put signed books, and this is up there. And I love it. Being able to, but it's a really great book. And I want to know kind of what was your inspiration for writing that, and how did that all develop?
Yeah, it really is an overflow of the journey with our son Titus, who's adopted from Uganda. We mentioned him earlier. Titus suffers with some special needs. He suffers from seizures on a daily basis. He rides in a really cool orange wheelchair. He doesn't speak and communicate with words and sentences. He's fed through a G-tube. So anyway, we knew that he had some struggles when we adopted him, but we didn't know the severity of those till we got back to the States, till he got into some hospitals here. And so for the whole first year, our world was just rocked. And at the time I was a lead pastor of a church, and my wife is just a very strong leader herself, very much an upfront leader herself. And we just felt like we had to hold it all together, but we were struggling. I mean, there's no kind of suffering like watching your child suffer. And, people, well-meaning people would tell us all the time, well, you know what the Bible says, God won't give you more than you can handle. Or, if, God forbid, if God calls Titus home, then God will gain another angel. And these were all well-meaning sentiments. And so just kind of when we got to a healthier place about a year down the road, Casey and I would talk about some of those cliches and sentiments. We started making a list and go, okay, what are some cultural cliches, some one-liners that we as the church, for lack of a better term, have adopted into the faith, baptized them, and made them a part of our vernacular that aren't necessarily biblically true. And so we came up with that list, and then I wrote it as a blog, an article for Relevant magazine, and it became their most read article of 2016. And so through that, I had some publishers reach out to me about turning it into a book. So really, that's how the story came about. And so that's where all those like cliches or sentiments that came. They're like, God won't give you more than you can handle. Follow your heart. Believe in yourself. But loved one dies, God gains another angel. God just wants me to be happy, And so, so what we do is each chapter takes one of those cliches, and then what does the Bible actually have to say about that? Teach about it, and a better truth to move forward with. Because, like David Kyle, you've heard me say this before. Typically, we share those sentiments with people who are struggling, right? Because you don't say God won't give you more than you can handle to someone who's having the best day of their life.
Yeah.
Usually, you share it with someone who's struggling. And here's what we know is what's going to get us through the dark nights of the soul is God's truth that's infinitely better, and not some little cultural cliche that's not even biblically true.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, it's a great book, and we're going to put a link to the Amazon so people can go buy it.
Thank you.
Those listening, if you have not read this yet, you got to read it. It is definitely
It's
worth reading.
Yeah.
Pick it up. You'll speed through it. You won't want to put it down, really.
Yeah. Hey, and right now, Amazon. So if you're a Kindle reader, ebook reader, Amazon has it for $1.99.
Whoa!
I don't know if it's a pandemic sale or coronavirus sale right now, but if you go to Amazon, go to Amazon. There's the Kindle option. It's $1.99 right now.
Oh,
hey,
people should jump on that. That's a great deal.
Yeah,
that's
great
a great
deal.
Now, is there an Audible version?
There is. Yeah, there's an Audible version.
Is it you?
It is me reading it.
It is.
Which the way that works, that's a whole separate book deal, a whole separate contract. So whenever they approached me about doing an Audible version and we were talking through those details, they said, hey, we want you to read it your voice, your excitement. And I was like, that sounds awesome. And it sounded awesome until I was in the studio and about an hour in, and I was like, what did I agree to? Like, I have a whole new respect for people who do voiceovers, who do readings, because you know how hard it is to read a whole book perfectly.
All the way through.
That's hilarious.
So if you're taking a long road trip anytime soon, Audible.
Yeah.
We're not going anywhere.
We're not going anywhere.
But I love a real book where I can highlight and take notes.
So good. All right, so now we come to the time of our show where we do our lightning round that we call 5 questions.
Yeah.
5 questions. All right, so we're going to do this quick. There's no time limit on it, but just kind of we'll go fast. What is your favorite Bible verse?
Love it. Yeah, so it's our family verse. My wife and I together, Psalm 34:3. Let us exalt his name. Let's worship him together. Exalt his name together. I love that. That was on our wedding cake, everything. It's in our house. So, Psalm 34:3.
I love that. By the way, I got to say, I love
his name together and worship him together.
Yeah. I love how much in this interview you've talked about Casey. And it's obvious that you guys are very much a partnership. I think that's a beautiful thing. Yeah. What are you binge watching right now?
Man. Oh man. Yeah, one is like confessing sin, and the other is like it's like what? So man, like my wife like sucked me into the wormhole of craziness with Tiger King. Oh my goodness.
That's another one. That's 2 now.
Oh goodness gracious, mercy me. Yeah, I had to. Hey, it caused me to read my Bible a whole lot more. For sure.
So there's a benefit from watching it.
Yeah. Hey, and it's so funny. Like somebody sent me a meme yesterday, and it shows like Trump talking to one of his advisors or whispering, and it's like, "Mr. President, the world is in chaos. What should we do?" And he replies like, "Release the Tiger documentary."
That is fantastic.
And the other one?
So we're done with that.
Okay.
And then we started watching a show on Netflix called All American, which is a CW show.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a football, but it's inspired by a true story. So
Okay.
yeah, right now we're about 6 episodes in
Oh,
All
cool.
American.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Nice.
If you could have any other job than the one you have right now, what would it be?
Oh
That's gonna be
man,
tough.
yeah, okay, yeah. So
'Cause
like
you
I
guys
said
have a
earlier,
dream
what I'm
job,
doing
so.
now truly is. It's just not preacher talk. It truly is my dream job.
Yeah.
However, if the Lord saw fit for me to do something other than this, and I could pick, ever since I watched the movie Twister when I was about 12 years old, I wanted to be a tornado chaser,
Okay.
And so, but we live in Rockwell
I
now.
was gonna say.
Before living here, we lived in Rowlett that had an F4
Right.
tornado come through, and you're like, first thing you're like, wow, okay. But like I would love to see firsthand a tornado that's like over a field, not destroying anything, and I'm a long way away. Like I would love to see one in person. They have these things. They have these like storm chaser groups that go out that you can pay to go be a part of that group. So I don't know. I would love to see a tornado in real life from a distance.
So you want to do the socially distant tornado chaser?
Social distancing with tornadoes, yes.
I've seen one in a distance.
Yes, because I'm assuming, the social distancing with tornadoes, the closer they get, you'll probably do more like spiritual nearing to God as you're praying.
True.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing one when we're on the road.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We just
Oh,
pulled
wow.
up into the hotel. We were traveling with the Spencers at the time. And we saw the green clouds and everything. So we're watching it carefully. I'm like, oh, this isn't looking good. We get out the truck, start going into the hotel. And off in the distance, you can see a tornado. And
Oh,
I'm
my
just
goodness.
staring at it. I'm like fascinated,
Yeah.
kind of like you would be.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
Cindy's like, get inside.
The end of
I'm
the
like,
world.
whoa.
Yeah, and when the tornado hit Rowlett a little over 3 years ago, I was out of town, and
goodness.
immediately, my wife calls and said, "Hey, I'm going to check on my grandmother. Tornado just hit,
Yeah.
and man, my wife and kids were in the bathroom, and it, like we had to replace the roof, replace windows, all kind of stuff. But I mean, it was right by them. Casey was like, it was weird. She says like real windy. And I was saying it just went calm and quiet, and then it sounded like our house was literally by railroad tracks. It was just so loud, and like so in our neighborhood, if you went out like our old house and turned left, the third house all the way down was all down to like slabs.
Wow.
I mean, they were completely destroyed, so they were right on the edge of it. So it really was scary.
That is scary.
I got back in town just as fast as I could.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
sure.
it was a devastating time for sure.
Oh,
Oh.
that's awful.
Yeah.
You want to do that one?
All right. So right now we can't. Next question. Right now we can't go into restaurants.
Yep.
So we're having to do like to-go orders. So what is your favorite to-go order?
Oh man. All right. So this isn't going to be relevant to everyone watching, but in Rowlett, Rockwall, Wiley, kind of in the area that we live, there's a little restaurant called Chiloso. So
Ooh.
Chiloso is like Chipotle times like 150 million, like so much
Really?
better, but kind of the same setup,
We
and
need
so
to go.
as embarrassing as it is, like probably in the last 3 weeks, my wife and I have got Chiloso takeout no less than 10 times, no less. Yeah. So they have this meal that is like, it's called grilled avocados with
Ooh.
steak fajita meat. So literally they like take an avocado, open it, grill it, put like beef fajita meat on it or chicken fajita meat, and then douse it in queso, just cover it in queso, and then rice and beans,
I'm
chips and
drooling.
salsa, and it is a gift from God.
So what
So-
time should we meet you there today?
Yeah. Hey, yeah. So let's see. Today we've been kind of alternating. We'll do it for lunch or dinner. Yeah. So it'll be one of them without a doubt. today.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That
That's
sounds
awesome.
incredible.
Yeah.
All right. And then lastly, what are you reading right now?
Yeah. So my dear friend Jonathan Paluda just released a new book called "Welcoming the Future Church." So I'm reading right
Ooh.
now. He sent me an advanced copy of that. "Welcoming the Future Church." I don't know if y'all know Jonathan Paluda or not. He goes by JP. So JP was at Waterbrook, which I know is a large
Yeah.
church here in
Yeah.
Dallas.
Heard of
and
it.
he was the one that was the leader of a ministry called The Porch.
Yes.
The
Yep.
Porch, the
Yes.
Tuesday night. I mean, you're talking
Ah,
5,000
that's where we
young
know the
adults
name
on
from.
campus, plus almost another 100,000 that watch live during different
Yeah.
videos
Wow.
and campuses. And he's now pastoring a church in Waco called Harris Creek. And
Okay.
he wrote a book called Welcome to Adulting. That was a bestseller. I mean, it's just great. I mean, I just feel like God has anointed him, especially young adults, college students, those kind of age. And so anyway, he just released a new book called Welcoming the Future Church. I'm barely into it, and I just know JP. I know his style. I can already highly recommend it, even though I'm only a chapter in.
I love that.
Cool.
I love that. Awesome.
Good.
Awesome.
Check that
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Well, Shane, thank you so much for your time today. This episode's gone fast.
Yeah.
You've been fantastic.
Want to ask any final words of encouragement?
Well, I've got 3 minutes left on his Zoom
Oh,
call. So.
gotcha. We're about out of time.
We're about out of time on him. Zoom only gives me 40 minutes.
Right.
All right.
But well, yeah. Any final thoughts? Any
Quick
final
words.
encouragements to people? Because you're very
Yeah,
encouraging.
man. Yeah. The Lord gave me this a couple of days ago, just in my personal quiet time, Devo time, is, hey, God is sovereign. God is all-knowing. We know all those things. God's not trapped by time and space.
Yeah.
So this pandemic, this crisis did not knock God off his throne.
Nope.
He was not shocked by it. Even though we're shocked by it, he's not.
not.
You know, God never says it. And then it's hard for my little finite mind to wrap around the infinite mind of God, but I know this is true biblically, is if God's not trapped by time and space, then our omnipresent, all-knowing God is already on the other side of this victory.
Mm.
And at the very same time, right here with us right now in the middle
Yep.
of the Christ, leading us to where he already is on this other side of this victory. So joy comes in the morning. As believers, we have nothing to lose. If we get today, it's about Jesus. If God calls us home today, we get to be with Jesus. So we can't lose.
That's true. We can't lose.
Ah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, my friend.
I
Thank
love
you
that.
so
Hey,
much.
thank y'all, friends.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You rock.
Okay.
Take care. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
All right. Bye, guys. Enjoyed it.
Thanks.
Mhm.
Well, that was fun. Tomorrow we have another great interview with Jennifer Dake. We're very excited about that.
Yes.
She's gonna be a lot of fun. Boy, Shane just knocked it out of the park,
Oh,
didn't he?
so good.
That was a blast. Not that I had any doubt.
Everybody so far has been incredible.
They
love
really
it.
have. They really have. I'm loving this week.
But yeah, our time's almost up. So,
Well, it's up on Zoom.
oh, it is?
Yeah. No.
Okay, we're okay.
Yeah, we're fine. Just shut that down in that meeting. Yeah. Yay for Zoom and for Facebook Live. Goes quick.
Cool.
But yeah, so man, thank you guys for joining us. You guys were quiet today, but I saw several of you in the background there.
Yeah, I think everyone's just listening.
Well, yeah. What was there to say
I know.
with Shane? That was awesome. And
Yeah.
thanks for pushing for the little encouragement piece at the end. I
Yeah.
think that might have been the best part of the whole conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You're very smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
That's why you married me.
It's true.
But yeah, join us tomorrow for Jennifer Dake. She's going to be an amazing. You can see from her picture there, she's crazy.
Yes, she
So
is.
she's going to be crazy fun. We're super excited. And we'll be back tomorrow. Any other thoughts? Any other?
Just pray for us with our coffee
Yes.
issues.
Mm.
So we'll figure it all out.
Yes, we shall overcome.
Well, this
Remember, God's on the other side of this
it's
crisis.
true. It's true.
So
Yes.
calling us in the
We'll
future.
be okay.
Exactly. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for watching, and be sure to
Stay healthy, everybody.
stay healthy. Wash your hands. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.